Hello viewers, welcome to yet another exciting episode on Citizen Voice Network. Today we are at Garths farm, which is approximately 35 kilometers away from Zimbabwe's capital, Harare. And in today's episode we are joined by Mr. Maxwell Munondo. Mr. Maxwell Munondo has a story to tell. He has suffered immensely through evictions at his homestead. We want to understand what took place, where we are with those evictions, and why is he back at his homestead now. Mr. Munondo, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Munondo, can you tell us the processes that led to you being residing at this particular point or at this particular location?
Thank you very much. Indeed, we came here about 24 years ago when the land reform program started, and we also, like others, had to remove the white men who occupied this particular land. And indeed, the land was gazetted for resettlement, that is A1, of which the government, through its arms of the Ministry of Lands, settled us, and with the promise that we were going to be given our particular plots demarcated and everything, all paperwork. We did apply when the application forms were made available for us, and we anticipated that they were going to come, and they even asked us to pay for diesel, since the country was, at that particular time, around 2007, the country was facing some economic crisis. So they had no fuel to come and demarcate, and they asked us to pay. It continued until 2014, until we requested that at least they should give us some form of acknowledgement that indeed we were giving them money to buy fuel, of which they did.
Yes.
We have paperwork to that effect. Since then, numerous people started coming here claiming this farm to be theirs. One called my baron once claimed it, but it was later dismissed around 2020 when she tried to secure some eviction orders against the masses through the DA's office.
Okay, so can you just clarify that the DA's office is one that dismissed?
Yes, there was one called Samunda. He was the one who was in the office at that particular time, and we were dealing with him directly and some other officials from the ministry. So, and at that time, we had our own councillor, who was also the vice chairman of the Lands Committee for Mashonaland East Province, who could come and, with a delegation, all the titled people for the land reform, came to us and addressed us. And even the minister then, did Masimtasa, and his delegation did come on a helicopter Dinota and addressed us and made assurances that there was nobody who was going to chase us from this farm. The same way they came, it's the same way they were going to come to settle us. That's what they said. And they said, they gave us a word that nobody was going to remove us because the land was already gazetted. And we lived with it with an expectation that one day the government departments would own up to their promises
that they will...
which never came to being until now. The most recent one, which has directly affected me, is the fact that one called Goodwill's Masimirembwa happens to own a subdivision of Boronia farm, a neighboring farm. Ours is Garths and his is Boronia farm. He claims to have secured a permit to construct what he deems link roads. But in planning language, I haven't heard that word. What we talk of normally is we talk of access road. When you want to get to your property, you apply for an access road, of which it is provided for already, since he owns a subdivision from the parent one. Already it had an access road for him to access his property. But now that is he has come. We have no objection to development as long as it is in his farm. We don't mind. But the fact that he is passing through, the roads are now passing through, and there are many of them, which is an indication that he is only hiding behind a finger, that he wants to get a link roads, yet he is developing stands. I don't know whether we can call him a land baron or what, but he hasn't directly come to say he wants to take Garths as a whole. He's saying he's constructing roads. And the problematic area is that he did not carry a survey to find out who was going to be affected by his development. If indeed he had done that, he should have followed the proper procedure. For example, the land that he purposed to develop has no certified change of reservation from the minister, and he has no compliance. All the paperwork is unprocedural. No, there was no gazette to that effect for people to raise their objections. You cannot just come with a document, say I have a permit, and even the local authority, in this case is the Manyame Rural, did not even consult anyone about this program. And all of a sudden we see a construction. It baffles everyone. And many families, we are about 400 plus families settled at Garths.
Okay, can I hold you there, Mamukoma? You said that Mr. Masime Rembwa is constructing roads that lead to his farm, which is next door to yours.
Yes.
Do you think the construction of these roads is part of a strategy to eventually kick you out of Garths farm at
Indeed,
one point?
As it stands, having acquired this knowledge through the background of my profession, I understand already. If you can see these stands, these roads, they are constructed in such a way that one will be facing the other direction, the other is like a semi-detached, to show that they are going to construct some middle or density or low density stands. It is typically that, because you can calculate around 2,000 square meter, 3,000 square meter, thereabout, to reach another road. So you can simply tell that there is something in between.
Why would they saying that these are just access roads? There is an underlying factor somewhere there.
The underlying factor is that the layout plan that they developed at Boronia, he is hiding that he wants. It is systematic in his trying to structure the roads to conform to the layout as laid out by the planners.
Now, so more than two decades later, you still don't have offer letters for this land, for this Garths farm. Why do you think it is still that?
I don't know whether it is negligence on the part of our government officials or not, but what I can only confess here is that the level of incompetence, even if they were not willing to give us offer letters, that thing should have been communicated to us. This is our government, and it communicates with us. So if they are silent, silence, at law, you know what it means. It is you are agreeing with what is happening. Their silence gave us comfort. And now somebody else is now trying to take advantage of that kind of a situation, which we don't think is proper.
And why do you think that there is so much interest? This is not the first time there's been an attempt to remove people from Garths farm. You in your introduction you spoke of how different sets of people have tried to take this farm so that you can be evicted, or they've tried to illegally acquire this farm. Why do you think that there is so much interest with this particular farm?
It's not about what I think. It's about what are my expectations. Because as a settler, I wouldn't worry much about many people who are coming to the farm. I only worry about my story in the community we live in. But what worries me now is the silence on the part of those who are in authority, as if nothing is happening at Garths, as if there is nobody existing in Garths. Why are they not telling us what to do? What is keeping them from saying something to us, official, to communicate to us? Why are they not even summoning people who are trying to invade Garths farm for their personal interests?
So if you tried as settlers, if you tried to engage the relevant authorities, the relevant ministries to say this is the situation and how can you help us?
I've already alluded to you that we were asked to pay for fuel. That is good enough. It means we were in communication. I even cited people who were in office at that particular time. We even went as far as Marondera, Ministry of Lands, Marondera Provincial Office. And we saw one called Mr. Mosi there, who was sitting in that office. He gave us assurance that there was nothing amiss. Our situation was going to be addressed amicably. And we lived with that, believing that word. So, even I've also alluded to the fact that the minister himself, who superintended over the ministry gave us assurance when he flew to this place. And what else do you want as an individual?
But recently there is a program that will see resettled farmers acquiring title deeds. Without offer letters, are you eligible for that program as a Garths farmer, Garths farm settlers?
I cannot confirm about the title deed thing. We are not conversant. Had it been that we were given offer letters, we were going to be in the know of the processes. But now that we don't have even the first stage paper, how do you then talk of a title deed? It's very irregular. First of all, if they are to say direct to title deed, we don't object, as long as it benefits the community that I live within Garths. And imagine the painful part of this thing is that we have farm workers who were left by the white settlers.
Yes.
Those people grew up here, they were born here. If they are to be sent away, chased away from this farm, they have no home areas like us indigenous people. Those people were aliens. Their parents were aliens, but they were born in this country, and they were left in the so-called combos, you know, and they are still there. They have got their small pieces of land, and if we are to take away that land, we are suffocating them. And who is going to be held responsible? Is it not our government? What will we say? Simply because we want to please one individual who is making money. It's business, because when you are constructing stands, it is a business that you are lining your pocket. And you expect those people again to buy. Where will they get that money from? No compensation, nothing.
Mkoma Maxwell, you said that over 400 families have been affected or are being affected. How do this family, or how much do these families, these 400 families, rely on this land?
It is a lifetime thing. They have no formal employment. They live on the land. They work on the land, produce their own food, and even produce something to sell, like vegetables and so forth. So it is their livelihoods. It is their livelihoods. There's nothing. There's no any other source of living apart from this land. This is all they got, and nothing else. And if anyone is going to take away that land, it means we are likely to get people who will not be able to feed their own families, and we will also be promoting some juvenile delinquents, for example, and people will go wayward. And even this thing of alcoholism will grow. because these people will be desperate. And if we are to harness a community that is productive, we need to make an assurance that at least they have somewhere to stay. They have heads, they have a roof over their heads. They have somewhere, the life that has sustained them since they were there. It was farming, through farming. They were working for the white farmer who was farming, producing for the white farm and getting earnings. And today, the white farmer has gone. These people have using their experience from the white men. And they are now producing for themselves, selling by themselves. You understand?
Yes, I would like to believe that it is because of the proximity to Harare that this farm is being targeted. In the event that there is alternative land that is allocated to these 400 families, would you take up that offer?
250% welcome situation. What we need is to settle, and we need to be secure. We need confirmation from our government, right? And it will give us a plus, because eventually we will have acquired something that we were longing for 24 years. You see, if there was a provision today, tomorrow, or any other day that we were going to be settled, I'll be the first one to leave my house. Yes.
Behind you, there are stacks of gravel.
Yes.
There is a road that is being constructed.
Yes.
And from this, I'm getting an impression that your homestead has been divided into two.
Yes.
There is another part where the crow is. Then there is the homestead part.
Yes.
Can you tell us what happened we are seeing these divisions? What really transpired for us to then see that your homestead has been divided into two?
It is very clear, as you can observe by yourself. Somebody just halved my settlement with a road. Just came, never bothered to find out what is there. These roads, they are built professionally. We have land surveyors, competent engineers in this country. They could have offset this road. Do what we call a topo surveyor, where you pick all features that can be of obstruction or of interest. You then do your thing, reprogram your road to other safe places where at least we have a win-win situation.
Yes.
But if somebody is constructing in the middle of somebody's farmland, what are you saying? It's arrogance. It's not even consulting. It's not even willing to live with the people as neighbors. This is the level of arrogance. Using the good part is that, we have got an institution called ZANU-PF. It is a sacred institution, if I may say. But people, when they occupy offices in this organization, they abuse these offices. Yet the organization itself is very clean. It is made of ethical values. But people abuse it because they are in office today. They forget that the institution needs to be protected. They are ambassadors of that institution. Whatever they do, it will give a negative impact on the institution, which is very wrong. But I want to make it very clear that we are not bemoaning ZANU-PF here. It is an individual in ZANU-PF who is trying to usurp the power of that organization. I'm not speaking on behalf of that organization, but I'm trying to portray a situation where we don't want to demonize an organization with individuals who are rotten in it. And I wish if the would-be powers would really evaluate people who lead at such levels of leadership in it.
Yeah, Mkuma Max, you were evicted from this space, and tell us about that process, and where were you staying, and why are you back at this homestead?
I've been evicted through a default judgment, and immediately they applied for an eviction order, which was granted. And we did not oppose it because likewise it was a default judgment. So we had to seek recourse through the courts. It is sub judice. to comment on things that are before the courts.
Yes.
Yeah, but what I can only say is that we successfully made an application through the same courts to have a relief until they decide. The final decision has been made. So I can only I can only confirm that it is before the courts that has led me to come back, nothing else.
Okay, that is well noted, Mkoma Max. And you are obviously footing the legal fees. You are an ordinary Zimbabwean. Is that not choking you?
I've been subjected to a lot of financial problems, and I've lost a lot of my cattle and my belongings, some of my valuables, or simply to defend this land. And I am only praying that if justice would prevail and I be accorded the right to continue what I've been. When I was evicted, the maize was taken away after just, it was not yet finished. What do we call it? Harvesting it. Until we will produce something like 4 tons by the roadside. Imagining.
Staying on the road.
On the road, by the road. Grinding maize. By the roadside. Packing it. Until it comes to 4 tons. And the other, you can see the stacks that are still in there. We were evicted. Natural justice must just prevail. If this person had a heart, he could have just considered that I have a family. If he was trying to be so vindictive on my individual, but he should also think about my family.
Your family, your kids.
My kids. And what about other families as well? Whom we employed? Huh? We employ people here to help us work.
How does this make you feel? The land resettlement is a government program. It's a government-led, irreversible program. And now we are being subjected to inhuman tendencies because of that particular land. How does that make you
I come to the conclusion that I'm an alien in my own motherland. I no longer feel like I'm Zimbabwean. I feel like ndakufunga kunge ndiri mwana inonzi chii anonzi mwana uya namai ari musana uya anonzi chiuya mubva ndiripo ndo zvandakufunga munyika yababa. So I must feel I'm in my country. I enjoy the freedom. When independence came, we thought it was going to bring us some honey and milk, like the songs that were being sung. But the honey and milk has tended to be sour, very sour. And look at the harsh conditions of the environment. And I'm telling you, I started staying by the roadside on the 13th of May until yesterday, the 9th. So I feel very bad to be a Zimbabwean now.
What developments had you made on this particular land, and what was the bigger vision that you wanted to establish on this particular land?
I constructed a borehole with the hope of producing some vegetables and sell for my family and get something. I also have got. I'm also rearing cattle here. I had goats and chicken. General farming. Yes, yeah. That's what we are doing here. As you can see, I constructed my small cottage here.
Very nice one, yeah?
Yeah. I just wanted something unique, right? So it means even if you look at my house, it can tell you that I'm here to settle. I'm not passing by.
I'm here to stay.
I'm here to stay. Yes.
Yeah. There you have it, Zimbabweans. As you can see in the background, there are lorries carrying tons of gravel in the name of constructing a road. And the road construction is affecting over 400 families at Garths Farm whose fields, whose land has been divided into pieces because of the construction of a road that is said to be leading to one of the farms where residential stands are being sold. And today we had Mr. Maxwell who was explaining to us what took place, what's happening, and they are seeking a recourse to address this, and they are saying that they need their land. They are saying that their land is all that they have. He has explained to us all that in detail. I hope you enjoy this episode. Thank you, Mkoma Maxwell.
Thank you very much.